So I want to talk about two things that I'm sure you've seen before. Who has seen this comparison before? Sheep. If you don't know what it says, you probably should sit close to the front. Wolves and sheep. Wolves and sheep. You've seen this 1,000 times, right? Like, wolves eat sheep. Sheep fall off the cliff, and nobody wants to be a sheep, right? Everybody wants to be a wolf. That's basically how the whole world classifies this. It's much more complicated than this, and I'll show you why. Because there's a third dimension to this that nobody's talking about, and that we're going to talk about today, because that is the dimension that's going to set you apart when you leave here. What is it about sheep that make them so cuddleable, that make them so non-threatening, that make them so innocent, that make them so forgettable? They're overly agreeable.
I was going to say subservient.
Subservient, right? All you need to do to get a sheep to do what you want is basically just stand in its way, and it's going to kind of go in the other way, right? If you tap it on the side with a cane, shepherds have been doing it for decades or for centuries, it's just going to go wherever you kind of tap it. There's no pulling, there's no forcing.
Herd mentality, they go with the group.
They go with the group, herd mentality. They don't question if they speak English. They don't question what you tell them, right? You put water in front of a sheep and you look at it and it basically starts drinking water. What's happening here is that sheep are doing something called following their nature. Nature, the nature of all things, is based on reactions. The nature of science, the nature of chemistry, the nature of man, the nature of animal. It's all based on reactions. You push a sheep to the side and it's going to move to the side. It's going to react to your push by moving to the side. What happens if you push a bear? It's probably the last time you push anything. Because the bear will react. It's not going to react the same way as the sheep because a bear has different nature. Right? What's going to happen? Think about two people in your life. Two people probably average about the same age, probably about the same sex, about the same life experience, education. You treat them both the exact same way, but their nature makes them react differently. You've seen that, right? Whether you're talking about brothers or sisters, whether you're talking about friends from college, whether you're talking about coworkers, because everyone defaults to their nature. You even heard the term human nature, right? It's just human nature. People listen to the news source that tells them the news that they're interested in, and they believe it. Why? It's just human nature. It's human nature to believe what you're told. It's human nature to choose who you listen to. So therefore, you are only listening to the people who tell you what you like to hear. Human nature. Sheep live and die by their nature. Wolves survive off of something different. Instinct. Who said it? Instinct. How is instinct different than nature?
It brings the environment into perspective. To me, nature would mean something inside that's coming out. Instinct
Fair.
Is the
Outside coming in.
Environment.
I would say instinct is more survival based.
Okay.
I think nature, you're just like the sheep, you do what you're told, and then instinct is like, how do I survive better?
Great.
For me, instinct is more on feeling and the vibe of the surrounding. If you feel like something's coming at you, you feel it.
You feel a threat.
Internal and external level.
Reaction versus proaction.
Bingo. That's exactly it right there. Nature is reaction. The environment, some external force, something around you, maybe even something inside you, happens, and then you react, right? You feel anxiety, so then you react to the anxiety. Somebody puts a gun in your face, and then you react to what happens when there's a gun in your face. That reaction is your human nature. When you choose to take action, not reaction, when you choose to affect change in the environment around you, this is the power part of our triangle, if you recall. This is the sex part of our relationship triangle, if you recall. When you choose to take action to shape the events around you, that is instinct. Wolves live off of instinct. They go out there and they hunt. They go out there and they find their den. They actively go out there and find new territory. They take on other wolf packs, right? Sheep live and die by their nature. They avoid hunting. They avoid challenging other sheep. Completely different than what wolves do, right? Sheep graze. They graze to keep themselves alive. What is grazing? Even if we just talk about what feelings conjure in your gut when you hear the word graze? Lazy. Passive. Complacent. Eating what's there. Well, I'm a sheep and there's a thorn bush in front of me. This won't feel good. Chomp, 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 chomp. Wolves hunt. Wolves hunt. They go out and they find what they want to eat. Wolves can go days without eating. When they get a good meal, they will feast on the meal, and then they will wait until they can find another good meal before they feast again. Only if they're starving do they actually turn to something that is against their instinct, right? They hunt for what they want. They go out and they find the best den location. They go out and they find the best females to mate with to make strong offspring. Sheep go into heat and they let another sheep mount them.
Fusing stuff that's lower quality because it's not in your standards.
If that's an inference that you want to make, yeah. I don't disagree with it. What I'm really trying to do is make a stark contrast between reaction and action. Right? This is what life looks like when you're an animal that reacts. What is a human being? This is what life looks like when you're an animal that acts. Right? Sheep survive. That's for sure. They survive. There's nothing out there that's... If a sheep gets killed, what is it that everybody's trying to protect sheep from? Wolves. Right? Unless you're in the Middle East and then you eat them. But sheep are good at surviving. Surviving, for the most part, is something that we're all encouraged to do. Like, there's nothing wrong with survival. Survival is an honorable pursuit in your life. I would challenge that it's not as honorable as thriving. When you react to what's happening around you, you will survive. When you take action on what's happening around you, you will have a very different existence than a sheep. Right? You will thrive. All right. You've seen me up on this stage multiple times. Some of you have seen me at the VIP event. Some of you guys pulled me aside and we had a conversation. I don't pull punches. I especially don't pull punches when we only have 3 days at this event to get information across. If this is what you're doing, and this is comfortable to you, keep doing it. Honestly, if this is what you're doing and this is comfortable to you, I would say keep doing it, because you're going to take all of the trashy girls that nobody else wants and you're going to take them off the market for us. And that's good. We need that. It's a fantastic filter. You will not position yourself as competition for those of us that want to do this. Because this is where the people who want to grow go. This is where the people who want to thrive go. This is where the people who want to challenge themselves go. Because right away, by looking at this, you start to categorize yourself as a sheep or a wolf. You were raised to be one of these two things. What were you raised to be? Mark said it best the other day when he said, why isn't society optimized to maximize your testosterone? Because what would society look like if men had optimized testosterone? How hard would that be to govern? How hard would that be to predict? Same thing is true here. This was what made our country. This is what makes business leaders happen. This is what makes militaries win wars. Action, thriving, hunting. This is what makes a loser in a war. This is what makes history books lessons learned, right? This is who writes the history books. So you want to decide which of these two things you're thriving to be. What is the thing that you're going to be tomorrow? I understand. We all started here, folks. I started here too. We all start here. At some point, I had this awesome billionaire client who likes to tell me that his mom used to drive him to and from school, and he would get in trouble in school a lot. And she would say, look, my son, either I can teach you or life can teach you, but you're going to learn. This is your moment of understanding that you're going to learn. If you are doing this, I can teach you to do this. Brian, David, they can teach you to do this. Or life can teach you to do this. But you're going to learn. The question is whether or not you're going to learn fast enough to be able to enjoy it. Or whether you're going to be the asshole on your bed thinking to yourself, dying someday, oh, I should have done things differently. Now, this is what I said the whole world tells you, right? You got to pick between these two dichotomies. But I don't like dichotomies. There's a third element here. A third element. There's sheeps. There's wolves. Who's got the third one? Lions I've heard before. What else?
Sheepdog.
Sheepdogs I've heard before. What's a lion? What's a sheepdog?
Has the tendencies of the wolves, but like it's protecting the sheep. It's got a purpose. It's honorable.
Right. That's exactly how I've heard people talk about lions and sheepdogs, right? Sheepdogs are there to protect the sheep, and they're protecting the sheep from the wolves, right? Who controls a sheep?
Shepherd.
Who controls the sheepdog?
Shepherd.
That sheepdog is not free. That sheepdog is not operating on this. It's operating on this. Its nature is to herd, protect, sacrifice to protect some poor, helpless being. Right? The third element here is wolves. Wolves that eat other wolves. Because there are wolves that survive on sheep. We've met those people. We've probably been those people. You find the easy target, so you can take advantage of the easy target. You find the easy job that you know you're going to excel at. You find the easy sale that you know you're going to make, right? That's a wolf that eats a sheep. But is that ever fulfilling? Have you been in that role? Has that been fulfilling to you, to take the easy way? To be the strongest football player on the JV team? Right? It's not a fulfilling thing, right? There are some wolves who are fulfilled there. Criminals are a fantastic wolf that eats sheep, a wolf in sheep's clothing, so to speak, right? They want to be a pariah on society, right? When we talk about sheepdogs, we think about, that's like your police officer. That's like your soldier, right? These are honorable people. Honorable was one of the words that you use, right? And our society likes to make us think that it's honorable to sacrifice. That's why we honor our veterans and we honor our police officers. We honor our EMTs, right? Those are still sheep that are being fed by a shepherd. They're grazing on whatever's put in their food bowl. I was a soldier, guys. I was a CIA officer. I was grazing on what was given to me. It's true. That's the way it is. When you are a wolf that chooses not to eat sheep, then you're a wolf that still has to eat meat. So you find that meat from other wolves. You still get to hunt. You still get to thrive. You're still operating on instinct. But now what you're doing is you're taking out all those threats that are taking advantage of sheep. So you're still protecting the sheep. But you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. When you're a wolf that eats wolves, you're in a completely different type of wolf pack. You're not in a wolf pack anymore that's lazy and sits around waiting until the day comes that they can go hunt another sheep down. Think about how hard a wolf has to work to eat another wolf. Just think about that for a second. When a wolf attacks a sheep, what's the sheep fight back with? Wool. It's going to be really hard to chew. Maybe it runs, right? If it's lucky, it tries to kick with its back hind quarters, right? If a wolf tries to take down another wolf, what's that fight look like? You're going to walk away with scratches. You're going to walk away with scars. It's fierce, right? That is a powerful, powerful person. That's a person who's not afraid of anything. You didn't come here to learn how to pick up girls. Maybe that's what brought you in the door. Maybe that's what you were thinking you wanted. What you realize is the challenge you have with women is just one manifestation of a much larger challenge. Women can take advantage of your niceness. They can take advantage of your sacrifice. They can take advantage of your honorability, your honor. But so does your boss. So can your clients. Maybe your parents still do. Maybe your siblings still do. Maybe your fucking neighbor does. Right? They're the ones that tell you what they think because they know that you're always going to paste that smile on your face and be the one who very politely says, yeah, I can see that. I agree. Even though inside your head it's raging. I don't agree. You're an asshole. Stop talking to me. Right? Your neighbor is a wolf. He thinks you're a sheep. So he's shitting all over you to make himself feel better. You, being honorable men, don't want to do that. That's part of the frustration. I don't want to shit all over other people who don't know any better. I don't want to hunt people who are easy targets. I don't want to do that. But there is no other option because all I've been told is that there's two options. You're either an asshole or you're a good guy, and if I have to pick between those two options, I'm going to be the good guy. That is patently false. There is a third option. The third option is to be the wolf that hunts and eats other wolves. Thin down the threat that's out there. Take them out. Let the sheep do what the sheep do. Because the woman you're hunting for, guess what she is not? The woman you're hunting for is not a sheep. That means she's a wolf. And what kind of wolf is she going to want to run with? A wolf that eats other wolves. This is what it's all about. If any of my talks have struck a chord with you, the first day, the second day, today, if anything I've said sticks, if anything I've said has found its way into your notebook, for those of you who found your way onto my website, for those of you who found your way to buying the ebook that I was recommending to you, you know exactly what it's like to have somebody imprint on you so much appeal that you took specific action to do what I said to do. Think about that for a second. If you're one of those people, and I said visit my website and you did, I said buy the ebook and you did, I said something that was impactful enough to you to write it down in your notebook, that was me creating appeal. That was me creating tension that made you appreciate and like that tension. What I did to you is absolutely predictable, reproducible, replicable. It's a skill that I learned. It's a skill that you can learn so that the same way that you're listening to me now, you can have a woman enwrapped in what you're talking about when you choose to talk about it. That is a skill. That is a skill that happens when you learn to eat other wolves. That's how it works.